final shape. We know there are high expectations for the way that we're going to put a bow on this 10-year saga of Destiny 2. We know that y'all are expecting awesome, gorgeous new locations, a bunch of new stuff to fight, and a bunch of new ways to fight it, all alongside a story that has to stand side by side with some of the best stories our studio has ever told. I'm going to be honest. We've been holding some cards close to our chest on this one. And I'm going to ask that you bear with us for a little bit longer, because we think a bunch of the systems and the gameplay that we want to talk about are things that you need to see, not just hear. So in April, when we come back with gameplay from the final shape, we want the game to speak for itself. All right, I promised I wouldn't take as long this time. I've got a bunch of play tests to run to. So thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning. I am going to see all of y'all this week in Season of the Wish. Thanks again. Bye.
Okay. Yeah. So that last statement is a little tough. They've asked us to wait and trust them for a long time. And I get that. So, you know, the final shape is delayed until June. That was the whole summit meeting with creators. That was the whole purpose of that meeting. Obviously, we got a lot of questions in there. We're able to get those answered. The final shape is delayed. We asked about it, and they really compared it to Season 11, Season of the Rivals. I'm sorry, they didn't compare it to it. They tried to. This is what they said about it. Take out the word compare. They said Season 11, Season of the Rivals, and Season 15, which include the 30th anniversary. This time period, in terms of like waiting and how long those seasons were, they said it's in the middle of that in comparison, right? So that's where it was. And that was another thing they also asked during that. They tried to create content and fill the space in the void of all this extra time due to the delay. Are they going to be creating content that's going to make it worth it for you to log in? Are you going to want to log in at least once a week and see what's dropping, what's launching? Are you going to want to chase new exotics? Is there going to be enough content to keep at least players engaged until the final shape? They said they're working really hard. Yes, they're going to put in things that could potentially keep players there, but they've done a lot more than they did in Season of 11 with Season of the Rivals, and they're trying their best to make it worth it to log in this time period, hence why they're revamping some of the events, why they're releasing Destiny 2 into the light event that's coming out as well, and they're going to be a lot more transparent and communicative with the community. This summit was the first time that they're using as kind of the starting point for transparency with the community. So in terms of creators, they're giving creators the ability, which I was very lucky enough to be invited to, essentially have the ability to talk with them one-on-one. So after today, I will have the ability to take feedback from y'all, the community, and whatever feedback I believe needs to be said or questions that need to be asked. I will now have the ability to talk to someone directly on the team at Bungie and potentially get those answers, or just share things that the community has as a concern. And they'll also be sharing information with us that we'll be able to share with y'all. So they're kind of really starting to be a really transparent, which, let's be honest, they kind of have to be. They kind of have to be because of everything happening and the delay and things like that. So we now have to wait till June, but they're working really, really hard in terms of making the final shape the best it can be. And as of right now, it's still in its final development stages. The final shape is not done. I know they talked about one mission. I don't know. He said like mission 3 or something. That's the name they gave us. There was a mission they created that they weren't super happy about, and they're kind of happy that it got pushed back because there were things like that the dev team wasn't 100% satisfied with, that now that they get to go back and do another run at it to fix those things and make them better and up to the team who worked on to their standards. So hopefully that's kind of a sign that, you know, they're jumping right back into it and trying to really potentially fix anything that the community might not find to be the greatest. So a lot of things like that are happening. It's still in final development. the final shape is not done, so they're still working on completing the final shape.